What is your American dream?
My American dream is to be great.
My American dream is to be a singer.
My American dream is to own a company.
My American dream is to be able to say whatever I want to say.
My American dream is to become a famous rapper.
My American dream is world peace.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. October 3rd. Is that correct, Belgium Kim?
It is indeed, Brad.
It is indeed. I have to pull up our show so I can see who's watching, so I can say hello.
Right.
That was kind of like seashells by the seashore. By the seashore.
Seashore.
I have to say that fast. Seashells by the seashore.
She sells.
He sells seashells.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Who does?
She does.
She does.
Sounds like one of our questions. What?
Yeah.
Who's
right.
she?
It does. It does sound like that.
Yes. All right. Well, how are you, Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias? What's going on?
Feeling great. We're looking very fallish.
Once again, Jan and I, with the complimentary palettes, we really kill it.
We're feeling fallish today. It's very nice out.
So
nice
cold.
and cold.
No,
and
it's not nice.
gloomy.
It's freezing.
Halloween is around the corner.
What happened to the weather? The beautiful weather in your neck of the woods.
This is beautiful weather to me. I like
you
the
like it like
gloomy, cold, rainy season.
You're like a morbid person. You like it cold and
I am,
rainy.
because I like to watch scary movies. I like Halloween.
It's Hocus Pocus trivia time.
Who watches Hocus Pocus
Every
for
year.
Halloween? Every year.
Time
Well, you know why?
He watches
You know
Hocus
why?
Pocus.
We talked about that last year, and you want to know why we're late today and why I'm not even prepared to say hello to anybody.
Why?
It's because we were having our Halloween production meeting, and Julie says to me, "Well, are you going to start a show?
Right.
We had all day to have this production meeting. Why are you doing it now at 5:30?"
Yes, which is true.
And I said to Julie, "This is how we always do it."
Right, this
Right?
is true as well.
Right?
Also fair.
All right, so let me say hello to Christy Consali, Fearless Michelle says, "Squad up, squatters." Kennedy Roy, I haven't seen Kennedy Roy. Has he been around?
Kennedy Roy's been around.
Did you just do a quick change?
I don't know what you're talking about, Brad.
Okay. Fearless Michelle, how are you? Latoya, Hits Forever Peterson says rain and more rain. I agree. Marcia McCalla, why don't we come back to me? Yonathan, why don't you just do something completely different? You know? Like turn your shirt upside down or something? I don't know.
Should be naked? Like what?
I forgot.
Wait, didn't Yonathan have a shirt on when the show started?
What do you mean?
Yeah, it would be very funny actually if every time the camera comes to you, you're in a different
It's just a
outfit. Completely different outfit.
Pretty funny.
Devon Senior, how are you? Cece Mitchell, Jessica Leamy, Joelle Reed is watching. I haven't seen her make a comment yet. Julian. Oh, she is now making a comment saying "Squad up, Christy." And on YouTube, Syria MN. Shouldn't the show start at 5:30? Yes. Yes, it should start at 5:30. But let me explain something about the word "should." There are no shoulds in life. It's true.
Right.
You know, like,
Okay.
you should do this.
Yeah.
You should do that.
Right.
There's no shoulds in life. Really? You prefer the show to start at 5:30, right?
Well,
I would prefer the show to start at 5:30.
particularly when we tell people that we're going to start at 5:30. That's where the should really comes in.
So I think Syria MN would prefer
Right.
the show to start at 5. I would prefer the show to start at 5:30 as well.
Right.
But unfortunately, since we don't have any like time constraints when we have to start, it's not like we're on NBC where like commercials.
3,
over,
2, 1, and we're dark.
So
Yeah. Right.
So we strive. Strive is a good word. Strive for 5:30. Sexy Shan Myers says, "Hey Brad Squad family, Tracy Lacey, Jamila Russell taking her 2 hours off from work every day to watch us."
Wow.
Yes. Jad Liad, Ja Love, DZ Infos, Punchy Queen. Haven't seen Punchy. Talise Carter saying, hello, squad. Chuka Daniel saying, squad up. Clive Stewart and Sella Ingram. I have to tell you something. YouTube has a lot more people watching now than Facebook. More comments, everything.
You know what? Every single day.
Not that there's a competition between YouTube and Facebook, because there's no competition. But let me tell you.
If there were.
But let me tell you, whatever, you just don't want to come in second place, all right? Now, YouTube's in first place. Not that there's any competition whatsoever. Marlene Rossi, how are you? Andreen Spence. I used to say that to my kids all the time. I said, listen, it's not important if it's not important. It's not a competition. You just don't want to come in second.
Right. If you ain't first, you're last.
Exactly. Sandra Salinas, Atif Khan, Belgium Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo Elias. Why don't you tell everybody on Facebook and YouTube how to win the competition today? Do you know what the competition is?
No.
Yeah, we know what the competition is.
Is it the same?
It is a new competition.
Have the most viewers, right?
It is a new competition right now.
Ooh.
Okay, I will tell you what the new competition is. Whoever has more, if Facebook has more thumbs up, YouTube has more thumbs up, the people who comment on YouTube may be able to win something out of the drum tomorrow.
Whoa.
If Facebook has more shares, the people on Facebook will be able to win something out of the drum if you make a comment on Facebook. But only one social media platform is going to be the winner today of a free consultation for tomorrow. Who do you think would win?
Likes v shares.
Now, let me say one other thing, because you can't rig the system. If you're double fisting, you're out of the competition. You gotta pick. Yeah, you can watch on both, but if you're gonna comment on both, you're out. Because then you're gonna rig the system, right? Can't double fist today.
Okay.
All right. Does that make any sense to you?
Or you should be able
to
double
fist anyway.
I think they should, because that would probably make Facebook go to YouTube more likely.
All right. I've changed the rules, Jonathan. Double fist all you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Belgium Kim, Yonathan, let's tell them what the competition is, because I'm not even sure myself.
Great, Yonathan, you got this.
All right, guys. Well, today's the day to double fist. I'm gonna tell you that, all right? Because what you guys are going to get is a chance to get your name in the drum, and we're gonna pick it, and you are going to win a surprise. We don't know what that surprise is
free
yet.
Consultation.
Is it going to be a free consultation? Okay. Tomorrow. So someone's winning regardless, all right?
There's going to be a winner. Facebook, I'm giving away something tomorrow.
You're giving away something tomorrow, for sure. All right? But this is up to you on whether you're going to get in the drum or not. All right, for Facebook, we need you guys to share as much as you can. Because if you get a higher number in shares than YouTube's thumb likes, then someone from Facebook will win a chance to get a consultation. Now for YouTube.
For free.
For free.
It's a $200 value.
That's a $200 value. And you can sell it for as much as you want.
Right. But if anyone buys it for more than $200, they a fool.
That's a good point.
This is true.
Right.
This is true.
They a fool.
They might not know though.
They a fool if they buy it for more than $200.
That's true.
So on YouTube, you guys still have a great chance, because you guys have gotten really, really high in your thumb likings. And remember, thumbs up does not mean the emoji in the comment section. The thumbs up is the actual gray thumb that you see where it says a thumb up and a thumb down. We don't like the thumb down. We like the thumb up. Sorry, I hit your head.
So let me make this very clear, because I think it's very convoluted.
Yes.
There is a thumb up on YouTube. At the end of the show, if there is more thumbs up on YouTube than Facebook, anybody who made a comment on YouTube on this show live is going to be put in the drum tomorrow to get a chance to win a free consultation with me for a value of $200. However, if on Facebook there are more shares on Facebook at the end of the show than YouTube, and we will announce it.
Absolutely.
Okay, we will announce it before we do the credits. Who wins? If there are more shares on Facebook than there are thumbs up on YouTube, whoever makes a comment on Facebook will be put in the drum and have an opportunity for a $200 valued free consultation with me. You can keep it yourself, you can put it away for next year, or you can sell it to your friend. But if they buy it for more than $200, they are full, because that's the value.
So right now, YouTube is winning, all right? So there are only 28 shares on Facebook, and there are 37 likes up on YouTube. So Right now, YouTube is winning. You guys, it's the beginning of the show, though.
Okay,
so
now
keep on
1
pressing
second.
the thumbs up and keep on sharing.
Mahadwe Boudoir has to understand where the thumb up goes. She just left a thumbs up in the comment section. It does not go in the comment section. It goes right next to, right under our feed, right below the feed, right there. You're going to see right below there is a thumb up and a thumb down. That's what you press on YouTube.
That's right.
Right.
Just because they put it on in the comment section doesn't mean that they didn't press the thumbs up, though. But press your thumbs up, okay? And not only that, but of course subscribe, because we need to make sure that you guys are officially a part of the Brad Squad. When you subscribe, you also click on that little bell so you can make sure you get all of the notifications, all right? So make sure you guys do that right now. What else do we have to do on Facebook?
On Facebook, make sure that you guys have liked our page and hit that bell as well so you get that notification every time we go live. And family, if you have immigration questions, you better listen right now. We want to see those immigration questions in the comments right now if you want your answer during social media check-in, because we can in no way guarantee that we'll get to your question if you wait. It's first come, first serve every single time, family. And of course, make sure to become an official member of the Brad Squad by joining the Brad Show Live Brad Squad on Facebook. We'll drop the link in the comments right now. Now's the time you've all been waiting for. While Facebook and YouTube are still battling out, we're going to be schmoozing with Brad.
Well, I think so far YouTube is destroying Facebook.
So far,
Facebook is very sad.
destruction.
Destruction of Facebook right now. It's all YouTube. It's kind of like the destruction of Mike Pence with Donald Trump.
I like
because
hearing
you
that.
know, because you know somebody. Donald Trump did nothing wrong. So somebody's going to get thrown under the bus.
Right.
And Joe Lockhart, a former press secretary for the Clinton administration, appeared on CNN today and was just talking about the absolute internal divisions between Pence's team, who was the vice president team, and Trump's team. As a matter of fact, there's absolutely nobody running the impeachment issues for the White House. It's Donald Trump tweeting it as a one-man show. So yesterday, Mike Pence's team put out, he was never on any telephone call. He knows nothing about this. There's nothing about Mike Pence and Ukrainians. The man knows nothing, okay? He could barely find Ukraine on the map.
Right.
Let alone he ever talked to a Ukrainian in his life.
Right.
Okay? Basically, that's what they said.
Right.
Okay? However, Trump said at the same time that they're putting out, he's never spoken to a Ukrainian in his entire life, that he was on the telephone call, that everybody else was on this telephone call as well. So Pence's aides were putting out yesterday he had nothing to do with this call. He didn't know anything about it. He wasn't aware of it. And then the president's aides puts out that not only was his guy on the call, it wasn't Pence on the call, but his aide was on the call. Not only was his aide on the call, but within 24 hours, Mike Pence had a full transcript of everything that happened on that call.
Right.
The transcript that, now if you remember, Donald Trump told Mike Pence not to go to the Ukrainian president's inauguration 2 months earlier. Why? Because they weren't playing ball with Donald Trump.
Right.
They wanted to get Joe Biden, dirt on Joe Biden. This whole made-up thing. Now, I'll tell you something about this whole Joe Biden and Hunter Biden thing, Hunter being the son.
Yeah.
It is very strange that, it's rare that you would just find an American who knows nothing about the natural gas industry or whatever this is in Ukraine, that all of a sudden, that why of everybody in the United States of America, this company picked the son of the vice president to be on their board of directors. Yeah, sounds a little fishy to me. Maybe even sounds like patronage a little bit, or but there is no allegation whatsoever. Okay, you could say, you know what, that sounds a little dirty. It's good to be the vice president's son.
Right.
I don't think if he wasn't the vice president, if he was Brad Bernstein's son and not Joe Biden's son, I don't think they would have been calling him to be on the board of directors of this Ukrainian, gas company.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. But that doesn't mean there was a crime committed.
Right. Nepotism, not a crime.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Just like a blowjob's not a crime.
Exactly.
Okay, it's the same exact thing. Okay, but now they're trying to make it look like it's a crime, that there's something that Biden did wrong, just like Hillary Clinton put the emails on the server, on her server. yes, she shouldn't have done it. Yes, she's not allowed to do it. But there's no evidence that that caused a national catastrophe.
Right.
That nobody knew these emails were on her server until, it came out months later, and then it got wiped away anyway by the State Department. But what the point is that they are trying to make something from nothing.
Absolutely.
Right.
And when there is nothing there, Trump says to the Ukrainian president, smelly, there's something wrong here, why the vice president's son would be on this board of directors. I want you to come up with some dirt. I don't care if it's true or not. And then you're going to get your money. And then Mike Pence is going to come visit you. He'll come visit you multiple times. So Mike Pence knew about this. Okay? He knew about this. He had the transcript from the telephone call, yet his team says he doesn't know anything about it. The Washington Post reported last night that Pence's aide said that although White House officials had pushed to put Zelensky's May inauguration on the vice president's calendar, when Ukraine's new leader was seeking recognition and support from Washington, Trump instructed Pence not to attend. Months later, the president used Pence to tell Zelensky in a meeting in Warsaw, Poland, that United States aid was being withheld while demanding more aggressive action on, quote unquote, the corruption. So everybody knew what the code word for corruption was. It was all about Biden and his son, and the son being on this board of directors of this Ukrainian company.
Absolutely.
I think it's absolutely nepotism, it's patronage, but certainly, I don't know if there's anything illegal about it. The company can choose to put anybody they want on their board.
Right.
Well, okay, where's the crime?
Absolutely.
You want to make it a crime to say that public officials' children should not be on the board of directors of corporations or foreign corporations? Make that a law. Now they're committing a crime.
Right.
And in Hunter Biden's defense, he's a consultant. It makes sense I get there are a million consultants in a million different places, but whether or not his dad got him the introduction, he never profited from any of this.
Yeah.
Even what he made from being on the board was peanuts.
I mean, doesn't Trump have all his kids working with him?
Every single children in the Trump White House.
Difference?
Exactly.
And they all have security clearances when they weren't even cleared.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Trump publicly came out today and requested China to investigate the Bidens as well.
Of course he did.
Okay? Nobody knows what they did in China that would require an investigation, other than maybe they were on a board of directors there as well. But every time Trump comes out and says, hey, China, go investigate, hey, it makes people suspicious. Hey, what are the Bidens doing wrong? Okay? And now I'll tell you one other thing that I remember from the Mueller report. When Trump was telling Russia, hey, Russia, remember 2 years ago, hey, Russia, if you're listening, please release the 30,000 emails from Hillary Clinton's server. In the Mueller report, they said just because you say it publicly doesn't mean you're now not committing a crime. See, Trump likes to make it seem that because he says things publicly, I'm not doing anything wrong. Because it's more sinister if it's like a private conversation.
Right.
But what's the difference if he says to China, hey, China, go investigate my political rivals if you want to make it. They're negotiating right now for a trade deal. Do you think that Trump may be more amenable to a trade deal with China at better terms for China?
Right.
If all of a sudden they find something on the Bidens?
Right, no.
That's where the problem is. And do you think it really matters whether he said it publicly or privately?
Right.
He's still basically saying, go give me some dirt on my rival, and I'm gonna do something for you.
Right.
That's basically what he's saying.
It's all the same
And
thing.
whether he says it publicly or privately, it's the same crime. But when you say it publicly, the president goes, what am I saying wrong? Everybody hears what I'm saying. I'm not doing anything wrong. But when you hear it, we have a secret telephone call with him saying it, then it becomes more sinister.
Yeah.
So he's actually committing his crimes out in the public versus privately.
Well, and I think
in this particular case.
Well, and tell me what you think, is Ukraine more of a problem? Because in Ukraine, it was tied so closely to, we're going to get some javelins from you. Yeah, but help me out with this Biden thing, though. Whereas if it's just like, hey, China, I'm just at a press conference and no one's saying anything, can he have more of a leeway to not say that it's quid pro quo then?
I don't know. I don't know the answers, Belgium.
Yeah.
We're going to find out soon. But I will say this. There is apparently what Trump is saying the Bidens did in China is that Hunter Biden took Air Force 2 with his father, then the vice president, to obtain a $1.5 billion from China for a private equity fund. So he used his father's office as the vice president and used a U.S. government airplane to go to China, and while in China was soliciting $1.5 billion to raise money for a U.S. hedge fund.
The Trumps, the Kushners,
Yes,
all of the children. But
when you hear he went on a plane with the vice president, on a U.S. government plane, and basically it wasn't 1.5 billion for the Bidens. They're like, he stole 1.5 billion from China.
Right.
He was trying to raise money for a hedge fund. Whether that's illegal or not, I'm not exactly sure. But I will tell you what is. Okay, when you're the president of the United States and you say to a foreign government, you give me dirt on my rival, you help me win an election, and I'll do something back for you.
Right.
Okay,
that's illegal.
Is illegal. Meanwhile, there's something trending right now on Twitter. It's hashtag Trump meltdown. Because he, as he knows he's getting in more and more hot water, he's getting a little crazier.
Losing his mind.
He yelled at the
More than
Oval
hearing
Office. They've been trying to, at a press conference today, they've been trying to impeach me since the day I got elected, and you know what? They failed. Later, at a press conference, this was yesterday, with the president of Finland, he was firing back and accused Schiff, as we talked about yesterday, of treason.
Right.
The president apparently based that accusation on a report from the New York Times that published right before his press conference and indicated that Schiff's staff had met with the whistleblower before they filed the complaint. The biggest issue is now that every time a foreign leader comes, they have to sit there and be embarrassed about everything that's going on. It's actually embarrassing. You got to sit there.
It's so awkward.
Right.
It's very, very awkward.
Right.
Watching these pictures of the Finnish president trying to somehow get one of his aides to save him from this press conference somehow is comedy. I think we are all him right now.
So now it hasn't gone unnoticed on Twitter as well. California Governor Gavin Newsom tweeted, actually watched your press conference, mainly just feel bad for the poor president of Finland who had to endure that. Broad Street Boss wrote, watching the president of Finland begging to be recused from this insanity was a sight to behold.
It's just so awkward.
Yeah, it's very awkward because he just sits there and not answering questions.
Right.
Grant Stern said the president of Finland looks like a guy desperate to get the check and run away from his first date. Hashtag Trump meltdown. And Strand Junker said, can we please all agree that this experiment of having a dumb TV host and shady real estate developer with no government knowledge, 6 bankruptcies, 5 kids from 3 marriages, 23 charges of sexual assault, and 35,000 lawsuits as president is not going well.
Not going well.
Hashtag Trump meltdown.
Failed experiment.
Yeah. So that's what's going on right now with the Trump thing.
Yeah.
We got to move on
crazy.
to other things as well. I don't know about this Boeing 737. Would you be terrified to fly on it?
I will not be flying on it, so I'm not going to be terrified.
Why would y'all be?
Because they're still trying to get this 737 back into service, the 737 MAX, the 2 planes that crashed one after the other. Apparently they had this system in place that nobody knew about.
Right.
Okay, the pilots had no idea it existed. It wasn't even in any instruction manuals. And it goes into effect when the plane nose is down or nose is up, and it pushes the nose back down, and basically caused this crash. I'm not an engineer, but basically it kept pushing the nose down and caused the crash. And now it comes out that 7 weeks after the second fatal crash, a Boeing engineer submitting a scathing internal ethics complaint alleging that management, determining to keep the cost down of this airline, had blocked significant safety improvements during the jet's development. The ethics charge filed by 33-year-old Curtis Eubank, whose job involved studying past crashes and using that information to make new planes safer, describes how around 2014 his group presented to managers and senior executives a proposal to add various safety upgrades to this airplane to make sure we don't have these problems.
Wow.
The complaint, a copy of which was reviewed by the Seattle Times, suggests that one of the proposed systems could have potentially prevented the crashes both in Indonesia and Ethiopia. 3 of Eubank's former colleagues interviewed for this story concurred. And I'll tell you the other thing with all of these planes. They run so automatic now. And, the pilots are trained, especially pilots who don't have a lot of air experience.
Right.
They're trained. This is the procedure you do. You press button 1, you press button 2, you press button 3, you turn the plane left, you turn the plane right, and it's rote memory.
Right.
And what's happening with a lot of the pilots, especially in countries that don't have a history of aviation, is that once something goes wrong, they don't know what to do because they haven't been trained properly.
Right.
Okay, so you're pressing button 1, you're pressing button 2. Then you turn left, you turn right. Wait a second, the plane's not going the way it's supposed to go.
Right.
They don't know what to do.
Right.
And now it was made worse. It was made worse because as part of their training, they didn't even know that this system existed. All the pilots and all the planes had no idea this system existed.
Even a thing, yeah.
Was a thing. Had they known it was a thing, and had they known not only that this system existed, what to do if this nose turned down, all these people would be alive today.
Right.
So yes, it is an engineering failure, but to me, the more I read about this, it is a knowledge failure on the part of Boeing not giving pilots the knowledge. It's their responsibility to tell the pilots how the plane works and what to do in certain situations. And what I'm reading is nobody knew about this.
Absolutely.
Number one. And number two, every pilot learned to fly this plane on an iPad. Do you know that?
Well, so the second pilots of the second flight that crashed followed all of the procedures in the manual, and the procedures, the override procedures, did not override. So it still failed because there was an override, and it still did not work.
But they didn't know that this system existed. They were following procedures from an old 737 plane, not from the 737 MAX plane. Okay. They were reading a procedure manual that didn't even have this safety feature in it. Nobody knew about this. It wasn't in the manual.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the manual.
That's insane.
Okay. So that's the problem. Okay, because you have planes now that fly themselves, and you have pilots that are taught the plane flies itself. Don't screw it up. Press button, and it's just rote memory. Press this button, and at this time you press this button. You turn this on, you turn this off. But God forbid there's a system failure. A lot of pilots don't know what to do because they're not taught. And then worse, there's a system failure for a system nobody knew existed. That's the problem. So now the details raise new questions about the culture of Boeing and whether the long-held imperative that safety must be the overarching priority was compromised by business considerations and focus on schedule and cost. Managers twice rejected adding new systems to override this system that nobody even knew about because of cost and potential pilot training impact. Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Meanwhile, it looks like it may be not the end of Bernie Sanders. Hopefully, he stays alive. But it looks like it's going to be the end of his political life and his political campaign. He was rushed to the hospital yesterday with discomfort in his chest. He had 2 stents put in. The stents basically, it's like the best way to describe a stent, Belgium Kim, is like when you have your toilets backed up, the pipes are backed up. You got to get the plumber in to
snake the drain.
Snake the drain. And then the drain's a little rusty. You got to put a new drain in. So that's basically what happened.
Gotcha.
Other than that, he may not even be alive today. When they say he had experiencing chest discomfort, the man had a heart attack. Okay, experiencing chest discomfort.
Really?
And
Is that what they said?
I'm telling you.
Oh.
Okay, experiencing chest discomfort, and then having to have emergency stents put in. You can ask any heart surgeon. The man had a heart attack.
They probably just didn't want to say that.
They didn't want to say heart attack. Okay, he had a heart attack. All right.
Yikes.
Sanders' senior advisor, Jeff Weaver, said in a statement, Senator Sanders is conversing and in good spirits. He will be resting over the next few days. We are canceling his events and appearances until further notice, and will continue to provide appropriate updates. Which basically says is they will soon be saying campaign's over. And what else is happening here? The victims of the Las Vegas massacre, Belgium Kim, they're going to get up to $800 million from MGM. Yeah.
Jeez.
MGM Resorts International and lawyers representing victims and families in the 2017 Las Vegas shooting rampage that killed 58 people, wounded hundreds more, have reached a settlement deal that could cost $800 million. The hotel giant issued a statement saying the total settlement amount is expected to fall between $735 million to $800 million, depending on the number of people who elect to participate in the settlement. Now, you could elect not to participate in the settlement and go it alone, or you can opt in and get your money now.
Right.
Why would you not do that?
Because if so many people opt in, let's say there's 800 million people, and I don't know, $800 million, and 8 million people opt in because they were affected by this. Okay, maybe everybody. Maybe
I thought it was just going.
I don't know who's in and who's out. I'm making up numbers.
Right.
I have no idea.
But
maybe in other words, after everybody divides up the pie, you are so seriously injured and so screwed up emotionally from this. There's not enough money for you. That's why you would go it alone. Otherwise, you would opt in because you're going to get your money much faster. Tuesday marked 2 years since Stephen Paddock fired into the crowd of 22,000 people. See, there's 22,000 people who could potentially opt in. Okay, 22. A lot of people. They were there. They got stampeded. I don't know. Everyone can have lots of different injuries from this. Just because you didn't get shot by a bullet. Fired into the crowd of 22,000 people from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. I've stayed there. I've stayed at the Mandalay Bay. Yeah, for more than 10 minutes before taking his own life. Now, when I stayed there, nobody patted me down. Nobody asked if I had any guns. They just showed me to my room and brought my luggage up, which is what they did for Stephen Paddock too. Yeah. Now, Richard Harris is a lawyer. Richard Harris, he represents about 400 victims, some suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, trample injuries, gunshot wounds, just like I said.
Right.
Because Yonathan's thinking, only 58 people got shot. Or killed.
Hundreds.
Right, thousands.
I don't know, it was 22,000
okay, and not only do you have the people who are shot, but the family members of the deceased.
Right.
You got lots of people.
Right.
He lauded MGM for being a good community partner that plays a role in the everyday lives of thousands of Nevadans. Harris said the settlement will help people put their lives back together with ongoing medical care, lost earnings, and counseling. All right, with that said, Belgium Kim, where are we at with sharing? We got to get to immigration questions. Where are we at with thumbs up?
We are at 83 thumbs up on YouTube.
And 118 shares on Facebook.
Whoa.
Facebook just pulled ahead.
Wow.
All right, YouTube, listen up. I need y'all to press your thumbs up right now. Everybody, click on that gray thumb if you want a chance to win a consultation, a free consultation with Brad. We will actually put your name into the drum and pick it out tomorrow. And what do they have to do on Facebook in order to win? On Facebook, you guys need to make sure that you share more than however many times YouTube likes it. So make sure that you're sharing it by hitting that share, hitting either start a watch party, which a bunch of people have invited me to today so far, so I see you guys. Start a watch party, that'll send a notification out to all your people, or share it as a private message onto your wall. Guys, you already know how to share by now, so share it everywhere so you can be part of the drawing to win a free consultation with Brad. Make sure if you are liking or sharing or taking part in any way whatsoever, we gotta make sure that you have left at least one comment in our comments, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, because that's the only way we actually know that you have qualified to enter to the drawing, fam. And now is the time you've all been waiting for. It's the time that we are getting answers to your immigration questions.
So let's go to Hopeton in Atlanta, Georgia. Hopeton, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
All right, what can I do to help you?
Yeah, I want to find out if a misdemeanor can prevent me from getting my green card.
Yep. Depends what the misdemeanor is for.
Okay, because I was arrested, but when I was arrested, they didn't read me no right what I was arrested for.
What were you found guilty of? Because the time to fight about whether your rights were violated or not was during the criminal case. Now it's over. What were you found guilty of?
Yeah, I was arrested for pandering.
Pandering?
I was set up.
What is pandering? I don't even know what that means.
Pander. I don't. It's like a sex. Like somebody buying sex.
Ah, okay. So you were arrested for being basically a John, whether you solicitation of a sex worker.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't touch the person.
That's okay. Okay. So now you don't have to fight your case here. What happened? What were you found guilty of?
What is that, sir?
What were you found guilty of? Was that what you were found guilty of?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Where did this happen?
In Marietta.
In Georgia.
County.
Okay.
Georgia.
All right. Did you go to jail at all?
Yeah, I go to jail and get bail the next day.
And that was it.
My wife. Yeah, and that was it.
All right. So,
and then they give me a court date, November the 8th, coming up.
All right. Well, what if you are found guilty of a misdemeanor where the maximum sentence is 1 year or less in jail, and you do less than 6 months in jail, and you've done no jail time, assuming all of that, it's going to be a petty offense and it won't affect you. What I would suggest to you, Hopeton, is when you go to court in when you go in November, when you go to court in November, if you're given a deal, before you say yes or no, what I would like you to say to the judge is, Judge, I would like to consult an immigration attorney about the consequences to me getting a green card before I plead guilty. And the judge by law has to give you time to consult an immigration attorney. I would suggest you can consult me, and you can have a consultation with me, and you can tell me and what I would need to know is the exact section of law that you're going to be pleading guilty to and what you believe the sentence to be. And then I will tell you if it will affect you or not.
Yeah. And one other question. Do a police have a right to take your phone, ask you for your phone, and take your phone out your hand and go outside and search up your phone without asking you for any right?
If they believe that you're committing a crime, they have the right to do that, sure. But they have to have a reasonable suspicion that you're committing a crime. Otherwise, they don't. So that's really, and I'm not familiar with the local, criminal statutes in Marietta, Georgia, but that's certainly a question for your criminal defense attorney.
Yeah, but and one other thing, if I was the one that called the police because I was attacked, right? But what if you turn up to meet the person and you decide to change your mind? You didn't want to go through to have an agreement with the person. You change your mind, and then after that, when you're ready to leave.
Hopeton.
Yeah.
Hopeton. Let me give you some advice. Okay? You're talking, you're not, everything you're telling to me right now is not a privileged conversation, number one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're describing what happened between you and the alleged, prostitute, or you're talking about a hypothetical, which I hope you are, or you're talking about some other situation you were in, which I hope you weren't, or you're talking about your friend's situation. I don't know which situation you're talking about. And you be quiet now, okay? Because when you are arrested for a crime, the stupidest, dumbest person in the world will come on this show and describe everything that happened. You want to know why?
Yeah.
You want to know why that's the stupidest, dumbest thing in the world? Because everything you say is going to be brought to court if they're smart to watch the show and know you're talking to me.
Yeah.
So why would you talk? Hold on.
Yeah.
You get it, Yonathan?
I do. Yikes.
Don't do this.
Everybody should know that, though.
Everyone should know that. Okay? If you have a pending criminal case, you want to be the stupidest human being in the world? Call me up on this show and start arguing your case with me, which is what Hopeton just did. But they didn't do this, but they didn't do that. What if they do this? What if they did that? What if they're listening to this show right now? What if they bring this entire tape in to court and contradict something that your lawyer's saying?
Each video, you have to understand, guys out there, each video gets thousands and thousands of views each week. So...
Now, I don't know. I mean, I doubt that.
You never know.
I doubt it, but who knows?
No, you never know. You never know.
It's one thing to call up and say, if I'm found guilty of this, how will it affect my immigration case? That's perfectly good question to ask.
It's your wording.
Right. But when you're going to start telling me, well, the cop didn't do this, and the cop didn't do that, and I certainly didn't do this, and what if they did this, and what if I called them, but then I changed my mind, and why are you arguing your case with me?
Wrong person.
Wrong person.
Wrong person.
Yes.
And what you're telling me, is not attorney privileged. I'm not your attorney, and everything you tell me is not a privileged conversation. Why? Because 10,000 people are watching this. Do you know when it's a privileged conversation? When it's a private conversation between me and you and nobody else. All right, let's go to Devon in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Devon.
Hello, good evening.
How are you?
I'm good so far. I guess I'm the first person. I'm holding for a long time.
You're the first person?
Yeah, I do. The first person. The lady says you're the first person.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize. I got mixed up. You're the second person on the show, though.
Okay, that's okay.
All right. What's going on?
I'm just called to find out. My wife filed I-130, and from March we get our receipts the 19th of April, and it's 6 months now, so I was asking why it takes so long.
Is it just an I-130 or you did an I-45 too?
Repeat?
What did you file? Just an I-130 or you filed an I-130 and an I-485?
No, we don't file, just the I-130 we file.
Okay, and you're in America right now?
Yeah.
And you're on you came here on a visa?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your wife's a U.S. citizen?
No, she's a green card holder.
She's a green card holder. How long has she had a green card?
Oh, she here from she's 19.
How old is she now?
She's here. She's 48.
So why is she not a U.S. citizen?
Oh, I can't answer that. She said she's going to apply. She said she didn't know she was going to marry me, meet me, and marry me. She'd have filed for a green card.
All right. And have you overstayed your time, Devin?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the story. Okay. Why is it slow? Because of the guy we were talking about at the top of the show, Donald Trump. He slowed everything down with immigration. Priority dates are current right now for you married to a lawful permanent resident, except for the fact that you overstayed your time. So you have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. You can't leave right now because if you did, you'd have a 10-year bar. But you need to get the I-130 approved first. You can't even file a mandamus for at least 1 year. I am competing with 3 children in the background right now. And I think I'm losing.
I'm sorry.
And I'm losing very badly to the three children. Right. So that's okay. So your wife needs to become a citizen. The most important thing to have been filed was your wife's citizenship, because until she becomes a citizen, you can't adjust here. Bottom line. So what you need to do right now is, after you feed your children and get them to bed, okay, and you have some quiet in your home, fill out the N-400 with your wife and file it tomorrow.
So we can the what?
The citizenship.
I don't.
Devin, you need a consultation. Hold on. All right, that's really what you need. Okay, your wife needs to become a citizen, and then you can adjust your status. Other than that, you're going to wait a while, get the I-130 approved, then you can do a provisional waiver. That's going to take another year. You're going to be years off. The fastest thing you can do at this point, Devin, is let your wife become a citizen. Let's go to Paul in Coral Springs, Florida. Paul. Paul, how are you?
Hello.
How are you, Paul?
Hi, Brad.
How
I'm
are
good.
you? What's going on?
Yeah. I have an immigration question.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm married to a U.S. citizen, of which on the 26th of June 2018, I filed for my I-751 status to
remove the conditions of your permanent residence. Correct. What is your question?
Yes. I do the interview on the 1st of August of this year. And on the 22nd of August, I received a notification that my case has been transferred to another immigration office. Since then, there is no... Hello?
After your interview, this is what you got?
Yes.
Okay.
What should I expect, or what would be the waiting time for me?
The waiting time could be 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't have the slightest idea. I wasn't at that interview. I don't know why they would interview you and then transfer your case to another office. I'm not sure what happened there because I wasn't there. I'm not part of your case. I can't tell you.
I'm in Florida and I provide all the necessary documents that they requested.
You live in Florida?
Yes.
And all your documents show you live in Florida?
Yes.
And so it's not like you live in Georgia, your wife's in Georgia or anything like that.
No. My wife is here in Florida. We live together. We have every evidence.
Then I don't know why they would transfer your case. All I would tell you then, if that is the case, if that's the facts, wait 120 days from your interview. If within 120 days of your interview you have no answer from immigration approving your case, I would file what's called the mandamus. What the law says is that they have to make a decision within 120 days of your interview. Whether they transfer your file to Alaska, doesn't really matter. They got to make a decision within 120 days of your interview. If they don't, they're violating your rights. Now, when your rights are violated, you have two choices. You can sit on your hands and say, all right, my rights are violated. What can I do? I'll wait for them to make a decision. Or you can go to a federal judge. It's called a mandamus action. And you go to a federal judge and you say, hey, federal judge, my rights are being violated. They're delaying my case. A visa delayed is a visa denied. Do something about it. And the federal judge will order immigration to make a decision on your case. And if you and your wife live together and it's a bona fide marriage and everything is cool, there would be no reason not to do it because they'll approve you. All right? So August you went, August, September, October. If you don't hear anything by December 1st, call me. We'll do a mandamus.
Sure, I will do that.
All right? Thank you, Paul.
Okay, Brad, and thank you.
Pleasure. All right, let's go to Dina in Plattsburgh, New York. Dina.
Hello, Brad. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I have a question. I got my green card through my husband. So when I was doing my paperwork, my husband do my kids. They live in Jamaica, 3 kids. So it's been 1 year and 6 months since the priority date have passed, and it's like 1 year since we get approval letter for the kids. They're all under 18, and we have not heard nothing from Visa Center.
Was the case transferred to the National Visa Center?
Yes, that's what they said.
And your I-130s are all approved, and it's been there for 1 year?
Yes, so it's 1 year since we get approval letter, and it's 1 year and 6 months since the priority date has gone.
All right, so you obviously have some big issues. I don't know why you haven't heard from the National Visa Center, but I can promise you that I will get to the bottom of it. You need to get your case moving. All right? So the first thing we need to do is look at your paperwork, make sure that the case was transferred to the National Visa Center in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then if that's the case and you still haven't heard anything, it's either one of two things. Either the National Visa Center wrote you a letter and it got lost in the mail, or they lost your file. It's one of the two. I have no idea. Either way, we'll get to the bottom of it and we'll fix it. All right? So hold on 1 second. All right?
Okay.
All right, let's go to Sertival in Dallas, Texas. Sertival.
How are you doing, sir?
How are you?
I'm fine, sir. I have an issue with immigration.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I came in this country 2017 on an A2 diplomatic visa, and I overstay my visa, and I tried to adjust my status, and everything went well. I got my work authorization. When I appeared for my green card interview, the interview went well as well, but the officer told me that she cannot make a decision because I'm on removal proceeding. I asked her why. She said I violated my A2 visa. I was supposed to come and return, and I got married to a U.S. citizen. So she said I should wait for a decision. Few days later, I got the notice of administrative closure of my I-485. Then I didn't get anything up to now on my I-130. And
Certival.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello. Where are you from?
Yeah. I'm from Liberia.
Okay. You're a smart man? You're a smart guy,
Yes.
right? I would think you're a smart guy. Sound like a smart guy, right?
Yes.
If somebody says to you, you're in deportation, you're in removal, I can't give you a green card. And they say, why? Because you overstayed your time. You're in removal. I can't give you a green card. You're in deportation. When did you go on your interview?
September 9.
Okay, it's September 9th. It's now 1 month later. What are you waiting for? If somebody told me, and I'm in Liberia as an American citizen, okay, and I'm in Liberia and I'm married to a beautiful Liberian lady and I'm applying for my green card and I go in to the immigration in Liberia and the lady or the person who interviews me and my wife says, Mr. Bernstein, I can't give you a green card, you're in deportation. You think that I'm going to go home and sit on my bed and wait to hear from them? I'm going to go find the best freaking lawyer. I'm going to freak out. I'm going to say, "Oh my God, I'm in deportation. What should I do?"
Yeah,
so
I
what
have
are you waiting around?
I have some complications because I live in Texas, and they say I have a court date in Philadelphia on December 5th.
Okay, so there's no complication. You need a lawyer, all right? Because what your lawyer has to do, I'll tell you two things you got to do. Number one is you got to terminate your deportation. Hopefully they approve the I-130. And number two, did you ever see? I'm sure you didn't, but I'd be surprised if you did. But if you did, that would be wonderful, because you would know exactly what I'm talking about. Lethal Weapon 2 with Mel Brooks. Not Mel Brooks. Who's in Lethal Weapon? The Australian guy. In Lethal Weapon.
Sean
Yes, I watched it.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. I'm calling him Mel Brooks.
Not Australian.
Right. Okay. Mel Gibson is
not
Australian. He is Australian.
Born in Australia.
Okay. Lethal Weapon 2. Okay. The best line: the South Africans, they were the bad guys back then. Now they're good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, the South Africans were bad guys when they made Lethal Weapon 2. And all day long, Mel Brooks kept trying to arrest the South Africans. Mel Gibson. I keep calling him Mel Brooks because we were talking about Mel Brooks earlier. Right. Mel Gibson keeps trying to arrest the South Africans. Yeah. And every time the South Africans goes, you can't arrest me. Diplomatic immunity. Remember that?
I do.
Diplomatic immunity.
I do remember that.
And Mel Gibson couldn't arrest them in the movie. So when you have an A2 visa, you also have diplomatic immunity. So they can't even give you a green card anyway until you waive your diplomatic immunity, and that has to be done through the Liberian embassy. So you have two issues. One is you got to get the diplomatic immunity waived, and number two, you got to get out of deportation. So you got some issues, plus you're in Texas and your deportation's in Philadelphia. Luckily, you're talking to a smart lawyer in New York who can help you in all 50 states. Hold on. Diplomatic immunity, Mr. Gibson, but that's not, what was his name in the movie?
Riggs.
Diplomatic immunity,
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy in the movie?
Donald Glover.
Danny Glover. Danny Glover.
Not Donald Glover.
Donald Glover's the musician.
Childish Gambino.
Yes. Mel Brooks is the comedian.
Yeah.
We have Mel Brooks and Donald Glover in Lethal Weapon 7.
That would be a great Lethal Weapon remake. Mel Brooks and Donald Glover.
Right. Oh my God. All right. But that's the issue. Okay. If somebody comes and says you're in deportation, you're not going to wait around for them to deport you, man.
Right.
Do something. Well, I'm waiting around for them to send me mail. Come on, right?
I agree.
Right. If you were applying for a green card, someone says you're in deportation, you're gonna sit around. You're gonna go do something about it.
I would do something.
Right. I put myself in my position. I'm like, all right, if I went to Liberia, I got married and I went into the immigration. They said, you're in deportation. I went and said, okay, I'm going to go back to my home and wait for them to come arrest me. All right, let's go to Josiah in Bronx, New York. Josiah.
Hello?
How are you?
Good, and you? Thank you for taking my call. So
Yes.
I have a question because I applied for Vawa in April.
Yes.
And I received a combo card in June.
Yes.
But unfortunately, my place got robbed and I lost the card. And later in July, I applied for the replacement card.
Yes.
So my question actually is, I'm really worried because I heard Vawa is kind of expired. So I'm worried.
Well,
like,
let me.
will I receive?
I'm worried too, and I'm going to give you my update on Vawa. Okay, because I actually had a meeting with my lawyers about this yesterday. And I said, what's the deal with Vawa? I said, did somebody read something that I didn't read about? Because if Vawa really ended, USCIS would have put out a press release saying it. Or there would have been some news about it or something. And nobody in my office is able to find anything. As a matter of fact, what we decided to do is we're going to continue filing Vawas. We just did one on Friday. And we're getting receipts back. So immigration is still accepting the cases. So either somebody didn't give immigration the memo, or I could be wrong. Maybe there's a law that was passed and I can't read it, find it anywhere. But they're still accepting the cases right now. So I would definitely at this point refile for your combo card and let's see what happens.
Yes, I already applied for the combo card. What I'm waiting is like, because I'm worried maybe it's expired, they maybe not send me another combo card. That's why.
Well, right now they're processing the cases still. So let's see what happens. Which is crazy.
Thank you.
Because the law ended, but immigration's still processing them. So I don't know if somebody didn't give them the memo or not. You know, maybe they're like on autopilot.
There's just no memo.
Nothing. There's not even news about it. It's crazy.
That's so bizarre.
It's so bizarre. But why look a gift horse in the mouth? Let's keep processing them.
That's so weird. It's just like, everybody stay very still.
Exactly.
It's so weird.
Augustine in Newark, New Jersey. Augustine.
Hey, hello?
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have I like your show very well.
I like you too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I have two questions.
Right. Yeah.
My first question is, I overstay in this country 13 years with visitor visa, B1. I get married and I apply for Vawa. And I got my combo card this year.
Yes.
Now my I-360 is still pending. The I-485 is still pending. But my question is, can I travel to my country for like 2-3 weeks and come back?
If you have advanced parole, absolutely.
Yes, I do.
Yes, go travel. But don't stay out for more than 2-3 weeks.
Okay, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Good. Okay, my second question, please. Yes. My second question is, should I be worried for my return to US
at this
because
point?
of
because your adjustment's still pending.
Because Vawa has stopped?
At this point, I wouldn't be worried because your adjustment's still pending.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thanks.
You're very welcome. All right.
Thank you.
So with that, we like to sometimes feature, we're going to come back and answer more of your telephone calls in about 2 minutes. So we're not done yet.
No.
Right.
But sometimes we like to feature some of the other attorneys in our office, only because they're A, cool, B, really smart.
Right.
Yes.
And C, have this combination of coolness and smartness.
Right.
All right. So today we're going to feature Janelle Baptiste. She actually has an amazing family immigration story that she wants to share with us. Let's watch.
My mother is from Barbados and my father is from Grenada. They're both countries in the Eastern Caribbean. Both of my parents came on tourist visas and overstayed their visas. They both met while attending Pace University here in New York. At the time, they were both working, doing odd jobs because they overstayed their visas and were out of status. So it was difficult for them to get steady employment while they were going to school. During the time that my dad was attending Pace University, somehow he wound up in removal proceedings and actually had an outstanding order of removal. He's told me many times that it was really scary for him to try to go to school and go to class, not being sure whether or not he would be picked up by ICE. My mother got an internship with an accounting firm. And at the end of the internship, she was actually offered a position with the firm, but was unable to accept it because she didn't have immigration status. Years later, the availability for a green card came to my dad. He was able to get a green card, and he married my mother, and she was able to get residency through him. Growing up, my parents talked a lot about their experience being in the United States without papers, without documentation, and how difficult it was, and how it forced them into positions that they never imagined that they would be in. I also saw how getting green cards, becoming lawful permanent residents, and then later citizens, really opened up opportunities for them as well as their family back in the Caribbean, where they were able to, send remittances, send funds, and open up opportunities for their family at home as well. So that motivated me to become first an immigration advocate and then get into immigration law once I obtained my legal license and graduated from law school.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, so we had a whole bunch of people. I told you I was coming back to answer more questions, and everybody hung up.
Oh.
Why would they do that? I told you I was coming back to answer more. Let's go to Opie in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Opie.
Yes.
How are you?
Hello?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, there's two questions. Can I file a mandamus in Nigeria if from here?
What's the problem? You don't file a mandamus in Nigeria. You file it in America. But what's the problem going on in Nigeria?
Yeah, when you're trying to do some adoption and they are giving you a headache.
They're giving you a headache in Nigeria about adoption? Well, you only file a mandamus if the U.S. government is unlawfully withholding an approval from you. So I'm not sure what's going on. So I don't know whether you're doing the adoption right or not, but we can certainly fix it all. And then if necessary, as a last resort, if in fact everything was done perfect, you had the perfect conversation with everybody in Nigeria, like Donald Trump, okay? But if everything was done perfect, file a mandamus. You do it here because they're violating your rights. But before we do that, adoption's a very tricky business. So I think we should take a look at what you're doing first. So hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Cora in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cora.
Hi.
Hi, Cora. How are you?
Good evening. How are you? In regards to Yo-Yo and Kim, I like your show. Very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the great work you're doing.
I appreciate it.
You have helped a lot of people.
Appreciate it.
Okay. I came in on a B1, B2 visa. And I filed on 130. My son filed on 130 and 485 together on June 15 last year. The 130 was approved, but the 485 was denied.
Why?
And there was a notice on May 10 saying that, I think it was denied because we were late. Unfortunately, we were late sending the RFE,
all right.
additional documents that they require.
So what happened?
So now it's denied.
Okay. So what?
Now my question, yes.
Basically, what happened was you screwed up the case. Now your question is what?
Yes. Should I? We're thinking about refiling. If not, if I go leave the States and just file the 601 back home because the 130 is approved anyway. I need your advice. Should I go or should I proceed?
No, because if you leave the United States, you can't do a 601 through a son. You would be stuck home forever. So it's not an option. You got to refile the adjustment again. If you need to travel, we'll get you advanced parole as part of that adjustment. But Einstein, who was a pretty smart guy, Albert Einstein said, if you do the same thing over and over again and don't change anything up, that's what an insane person does. So if you're just going to refile again, you're going to get the same result over and over and over. So let me help you, or let a good immigration attorney help you, and file the adjustment immediately before you get put in deportation, and just do it right. And if you need to travel, we'll get you an advance parole. But going home and doing a 601 is not an option. Hold on one second. All right. Let's go to Melissa in Hackensack, New Jersey. Melissa.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
I need to ask you a question. I applied when I just came here. I came on a B1 B2 visa, and I overstayed. However, before I overstayed, I applied for my extension on my visa.
Right.
Yes, which was denied. I got married like a month ago. Now I'm filing my I-130, but I want to know like what are the requirements that I should have, and because my husband, we are all living together, his sister, his brother, and how is it possible that my name would have to be on the lease or no?
No, not necessarily. What you got to prove is that the two of you physically live together and you have a financial relationship. There's lots of ways to prove you physically live together, and there's lots of ways to prove a financial relationship. The easiest way to prove a financial relationship is you have a bank account, you share it, your money goes in it, his money goes in it, you commingle your funds, and out of those commingled joint funds, the two of you pay your bills together.
Okay.
All right, that's the easy, and then you do your joint taxes. So the fact that you don't have a lease together is not indicative of whether you live together or you have a joint financial relationship. All right, but we can certainly help you, so hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Kumar in Queens. Kumar. Kumar.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
How you doing?
Good, good. How's everything going? Good. Very nice show. I like it.
Thank you. I think everything's going good on the show so far. What do you think?
I agree.
What do you think? Yeah?
So far, so
Yeah, it was
good.
a little rocky because, you know what? This whole Giuliani-Trump thing confuses me.
Yeah.
So it was a little rocky at the beginning, but I think we kind of slid right into a good groove now.
We did.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because the whole thing, it confuses even me what they're doing.
Well, yeah.
Because he's just trying to confuse everybody.
Absolutely.
Including me.
Yeah.
All right. Kumar, what's going on?
Good, good. I have a green card with Vawa.
Yes.
I apply I-824. My daughter, she is 22 years, and my son is 20 years. So how long they take it to I-824, and she's 22 years, which category she is coming?
She's if your VAWA was filed before she was 21, she's an immediate relative.
Yeah. I applied for 2017.
Yeah, so they're both immediate relatives, derivatives, and they should be able to follow to join.
All right. But that's this question. So how long take it? Any idea?
Well, when were you approved?
Vawa was approved 2018, and I got a green card 5 months ago.
They should. You did an I-824 now, right?
Sorry?
What did you do to transfer your file? Where are your children?
They are in India.
Okay, so you should have done what's called an I-824. Did you do that?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, so I-824s take about 9 months. So wait another couple months. If you don't hear anything, then call me.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, let's go to Asel in Boca Raton. Asel.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
Great, how are you? I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is my story. I moved to the United States in December 2013 from Kazakhstan. In May 2014, I got married, and after 5 months, I separated with my husband and applied for Vawa. While it was pending, it was like a year, I moved on and I remarried. So I withdrew that case.
Okay.
Then I remarried in October 2016. Same month actually, me and my husband, I received my green card. I'm a little bit nervous.
It's okay.
I received my green card in 2018 September.
Through the second husband's marriage.
Pardon me?
Through the marriage to the second husband, you got your green card in 2018.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So what is your question now?
Same month, he called the cops on me, and I was Baker acted. We felt like we worked it out, and this year in June, we had a domestic violence case. He hit me, and he was arrested. I have a restraining order for 1 year, and I'm going to be divorced in a couple of weeks. So my question is, over history of Vawa and waiver, I'm going to apply for waiver I-751. Is it gonna be like
that? Has nothing to do with Vawa, the I-751. So VAWA is something completely different. On the I-751, to remove the conditions, you can do one of two things. One, you can prove it was a bona fide marriage and you were physically abused, and you have that proof. Or two, you can prove it's a bona fide marriage and you're divorced, and you have that proof too. Either one works.
So I have 3 years of my marriage with my husband and leases.
When did you get your green card?
I got my green card September 2018.
And when did you get married?
1 year, 11 months.
Oh, 1 year, 11 months into it. Okay, so you got to remove the conditions.
Yes, I need to remove the condition I-751. But my question is, I'm sorry, I got married in 2016, October 26th. And I will be divorced in this month in 11th, October. It's like 2 weeks, a week before 3 years of marriage.
Okay, so you have to file an I-751 in 2020, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you have proof that the police came, he physically abused you, he was arrested.
Yes.
The police saw you and him together living in the same house. The police arrested him for abuse. There's a crime he was charged with and maybe even be found guilty of. If you can prove you lived in the same house, it was a real marriage, and you were the victim of domestic abuse, you get a green card. It sounds like you've already proven your case in a 3-minute conversation with me.
Okay, and proving bona fide marriage, it's bank accounts, filed joint tax returns, right?
A bona fide marriage is the two of you live together and you have a financial relationship. You're already halfway there because the police came to the house and saw you living together. So now it's just financial relationships. Okay?
And when can I file for I-751?
90 days before the expiration of your green card. What I would suggest you do, because it sounds like you're nervous and you've been through a lot.
I'm very nervous.
Right, and you've obviously been through a lot. All right?
A lot.
Yeah, I know. I hear it in your voice. Have a consultation with me, all right? You'll feel a lot better by the time you're done, I promise. All right? Hold on one second.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hold on. All right, let's go to Maria in Massa, Arizona. Maria.
Hi, how are you? I'm calling because I had 2 assessors. So my husband filed for his residency, but the affidavit, 2 assessors are telling me 2 different things, so I don't know what to do.
What do you mean? What do you mean that affidavits say 2 different things? I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, so one says that the affidavit is not good for him. The other one says that it's sufficient for him. My uncle with the 1099 it's worth 27. He did 27,000 plus the W2 is 7,000. So that makes
it's what his adjusted gross income is. So when you get a 1099, most lawyers take deductions for all sorts of business expenses. So it's not what's on the 1099. It goes by what is the adjusted gross income on the tax return.
That's the thing. They said because he had a 18,000 deduction,
right.
He cannot. He's not qualified.
That is correct. I don't know who they are. I hate talking about they, but that's correct because his adjusted gross income is below the poverty level.
Oh my God! So now that I'm still waiting for the interview,
you better you're going to need to find somebody else to give you an affidavit of support. Show up to that interview and substitute out whoever this guy is with the adjusted gross income of $9,000 with a better affidavit of support.
And they're supposed to have we're gonna enter after October 15 because it's just less than 2 weeks.
Yes, but your adjustment was filed before, so you go by the old laws.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And I have food stamps. She told me that
who's she? First of all, they told you one thing. Now she told you something else. I don't know who these random human beings are. Okay, but if you're on, if you yourself, I guarantee you are not getting food stamps because they don't give food stamps to people who are out of status. Your children are getting food stamps.
Well, yes.
Okay, I know exactly. I gotta read through and the she is probably your lawyer or paralegal or your friend advising you. So. If you can afford to keep your kids off of food stamps, that would be beneficial. But I don't want your kids to starve. Okay.
Okay. As long as I have a co-sponsor that I can make
You should be okay, but they look at the totality of circumstances, but you should be okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, best of luck. All right. So with that being said, Belgium Kim, we are 121 thumbs up, 1 thumb down.
Okay.
On
So is that, do
YouTube.
they cancel it? Do you minus them? Is it 120 then?
No.
It should be, but it's not.
I don't think it is. Because I think it's 121
Yes.
people
It
that
doesn't
made
matter
the right
because
call.
they losing anyway.
Right.
What's at Facebook at?
148.
Well, it's close still.
It is.
So let me explain one last time.
Yeah.
If Facebook has more shares, the people who comment on Facebook, we're going to pull out of the drum tomorrow, a free consultation for them. Somebody's going to get a free consultation out of the drum.
Right.
However, if on YouTube you have more thumbs up, and that's a thumbs up, not in the comments in the chat section, but the thumbs up of the thumbs, which are right next to the share button, then the people who comment on YouTube, we're going to pick a name out of the drum tomorrow.
Yes.
And they will potentially be able to get a free consultation valued at I feel like I'm Price is Right. Valued at $200.
Right.
With that being said, so, YouTube, if you want to catch up and you want the free consultation, I'd start taking your thumb out and go, do. But you can only do it once.
You can, but you can log on to one of your friends or kids or just anybody's phone that's next to you that can go onto YouTube and press the thumbs up from there. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Think smarter, not harder.
Now, Ma Duke says on Facebook she's sharing up a storm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ma Duke's
They're not
sharing.
playing.
She ain't playing.
Facebook ain't playing.
That's right.
That's the core.
All right.
They're in core right now.
Meanwhile, when you get into a accident, who you can trust and who you should trust is vitally important. So many people trust the wrong people. Now, who you can trust, actually, the answers may surprise you. I spoke with Spar and Bernstein's personal injury attorney and partner Moshe, the bulldozer Borukh, about this exact issue. Let's watch. Every year, 10% of construction workers in the United States get injured on the job. According to the Census of Fatal Occupational Injuries in 2017 alone, 5,147 construction workers died on the job. When an accident leaves a construction worker incapacitated, they and their families lose the financial security they once had. A good attorney is needed to make sure that the injured party is compensated to the highest level, because most of the time, they will never be able to work again. And there is only one bite of the apple when it comes to fighting for full compensation in court. With me to discuss what to do if you or your loved one is involved in a construction accident is Spar and Bernstein's own personal injury attorney, Moshe the Bulldozer Borukh. Moshe, how are you today?
I'm good, Brad. How are you?
When you get injured in an accident, there's people you can trust and there are people you can't trust. Let's break this down for a second, Moshe. You're in an accident and you're lying there at the scene. Something fell on your head, you fell from a ladder, whatever the case may be, a scaffolding. Who do you trust? Your colleagues will say, let me drive you to the hospital. Your boss will say, I'm calling the site safety supervisor. Who are you going to trust in this? What are you going to do?
99 out of 100 people, Brad, will say site safety manager or site safety supervisor. Why? Because it's implicit in that name that they're supposed to help you. However, when you get involved in an accident in a construction zone, the last thing you want to do is go to a site safety manager, because those usually are hired by insurance companies. And so their jobs are to mitigate damage and liability as much as possible. You cannot go to those people whatsoever.
They're not on your side.
They're never on your side.
They work they work literally for the insurance company to reduce the payouts and risk for the companies that's hiring you.
Or they may outright lie, Brad. Some of these site safety managers lie on paper about how the accident occurred, why it occurred, and so you do not want them to get involved in the beginning of your accident.
Or they'll say you said something that you never said.
Absolutely.
And now somebody will say, well then, how am I supposed to report this? How is somebody supposed to know that this accident happened? What do you do?
So what you do is you dial 911 and you ask for emergency personnel to come get you treatment, and that's when it'll be documented on paper from your perspective about what happened, not from the site safety manager.
The ambulance and the medical personnel and the police and the fire department, whoever comes, those are the public servants who are going to document what happened. Because the public servant, they're just going to document whatever happened. They're not on anybody's side. correct?
Exactly. They're neutral parties.
They're neutral parties. Okay, so now you go to the hospital. Can you speak to the doctor about what happened? Can you speak to the nurse about what happened? What if your boss calls you on the phone? What do you do?
So you always tell the nurses, the emergency staff at the hospital, the doctors, you always tell them what happened and how it happened. You can even call a lawyer, man. That's my suggestion. Always get a lawyer involved as early as possible. If your employer calls you, do not discuss anything about the accident with him. You just let him know that you're injured, that you can't come into work for whatever reason, but you don't tell him how the accident occurred.
And you can say, thank you for calling. I appreciate your concern.
Sure.
But discussing the accident, because now the employer who's calling you, he may be your friend, but he's also adverse to you.
And do we know why he's adverse to us, Brad? Because he has insurance that gets involved in this accident.
Right.
He does not want his premiums to go up. If maybe it could be even canceled, right? If there's a serious OSHA violation as a result of this accident, serious implications and consequences arise out of this.
Now, I've seen situations where the employer called up and said, well, if you call a lawyer, you're going to be fired.
Well, that's another issue, Brad. First of all, that's illegal. You can't do that. And number two,
but some people are concerned about their job.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't worry too much about that. I wouldn't worry too much about getting fired, because if you're injured, seriously injured in an accident, the last thing you should be worried about is your employer telling you you're not going
to work for a long time anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
Moshe, tell me about a case where we had a client who followed your advice, and they sat there at the scene. They called the ambulance. They saved our telephone number. They called us. They didn't speak to the employer. They didn't speak to the site safety supervisor. They spoke to the doctor. They spoke to their attorneys here at Spar and Bernstein. Tell us about what happened.
We had a prospect call us immediately after she had a plank fall on her. And at that moment, she called us. She called our hotline, and I immediately told her, I said, look, stay where you are. Don't do anything. And the funny thing is, she didn't even call the police yet. She called us directly first.
She called the lawyer first.
Exactly, and that's the right thing to do, because first of all, she was able to do it, which was great. And I told her, I said, sit where you are.
What do you mean a plank fell on her?
A plank fell on her. It was a gravity-related accident where it just literally fell on top of her head. And thankfully, she had a hard hat on. And so what happened was, when she called us, I said, look, put the phone down, take a video of your immediate surroundings, take some pictures, and then call the police and tell them that you're injured. And thank God she did exactly that, did not speak to the foreman. And the foreman's a big guy in these construction sites, because these are the people you're supposed to follow directions from. She didn't talk to the foreman. She didn't talk to the site safety manager, the supervisor. She called the police. The police came. The EMS noted everything down. We got everything. We created a case for her, and the case settled.
How much did it settle for?
The case settled for $2.5 million.
Wow. Wow.
All because she followed directions.
Wow.
She did what she had to do.
And she's probably never going to work again, right?
Unlikely.
Unlikely to work
As a construction worker, she won't work
Right.
again.
Well, that's amazing. It's an amazing result. Now, obviously, prior successful results don't guarantee a similar outcome. But I do have to tell everybody that, everybody out there knows somebody who works at a construction site, construction is happening everywhere. You'll walk down in New York City. There's rarely a block you walk down in New York City where there's no scaffolding to cover you from the rain. I don't even have to walk around with umbrellas anymore. So everybody knows somebody who's on a construction site. And God forbid you or your loved one or your friend gets injured. The difference between having a successful result from this injury and having an unsuccessful result is doing the right thing, following our instructions, and getting a good lawyer. Moshe, the bulldozer Baruch's a good lawyer. Save our telephone number. It's 1-800-529-5465. God forbid anything ever happens, you have our number saved. 1-800-529-5465. You call us immediately, 1-800-529-5465. Thanks, Moshe. Great
You're
job.
welcome, Brad. Thank you.
Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. All right, so a couple of housekeeping notes here before we get into social media. Number one, I was in error. I'll admit when I'm in error. I was in error, according to Belgium Kim, in our schmooze. I said, my belief is that Bernie Sanders had a heart attack because you don't get stents unless you have a heart attack. And Kim, in fact, looked it up and said, you can have an angina and get stents as well.
Yeah.
So I learned something new.
Boom.
It's why they don't call me Dr. Brad. They call Yo-Yo Dr.
Yo-Yo. That's why I ain't saying nothing.
So my apologies to Bernie Sanders. It's possible he did not have a heart attack, although I think he did. But medically speaking, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I always
know.
believe that you only get stents if you actually have a heart attack. And Kim
You can definitely get it if you have angina.
Kim said nope, angina as well.
The more you know. Cue the little
Correct.
NBC graphic.
All right.
Reading Rainbow.
Right. All right. Housekeeping number 2.
Yeah.
I had 3 things to say. I forgot now.
Okay.
Housekeeping number 2. You can always follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. If I know who you are and you are part of the Brad Squad, and I check now, I will be more than happy to answer your questions as long as they are brief. If it's a long, whole, detailed thing, then obviously you would need to have a consultation. I will tell you. 2 caveats on that.
Yeah.
Don't leave me voice messages because I can't stand listening to them. Just text me your. I just can't.
You get voice messages?
Yeah, I'm getting voice messages.
Wow.
Like,
You guys are
people are telling me like 2, 3, 4 minute, 5 minute stories. I'm like, I don't have time to. Come on, nice guy. Right. So I'm telling you now, if it's a voice message, I'm not listening. Okay, it's my rule now.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
I think that's fair.
And number 2. Okay, just because you're my friend on Instagram doesn't mean you can call me on Instagram. Apparently, you can call people on Instagram.
You can
now.
call people
I don't
on
know.
Instagram?
Yes.
You can video call.
You can video call.
Yes.
That doesn't mean, all right, I was in the shower and I'm getting video calls from people. All right, so guess what? If you're going to start video calling me, you're getting blocked. I'm telling you this right now because you don't know where I am. It's actually rude.
It is.
Okay, it's actually quite rude.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't even video call him.
It's very
And
rude.
I
I find it very rude. So those are my 2
It's true.
caveats.
Yeah.
All right, here I'm trying to help people, and I'm in the shower, and
I'm
my
weak.
phone's going off, and I'm like, what the hell's my phone going off? And I pull out, I'm like, a video call on Instagram? Come on, what, you want me to answer the phone here?
That's actually kind of funny.
But here's the biggest question, Brad. Do you answer while you're in the shower?
Depending
like
on
when
who.
they're video chatting.
Well, it depends who it is.
Okay.
Ooh.
But regular old Brad squatters do not get a hello in the shower.
There's only one person
Okay.
who would I answer for the shower.
Right.
Okay.
But
It's the
hypothetically, they should
person
be in the
who
shower with
actually
you.
sees me
like that.
like that. Right. Other than that, I don't answer.
Well, in a perfect world, they're already in the shower with you, Brad.
Well, yeah. In that particular moment, nobody was in the shower with me. It was just me. It was just me and my soap and shampoo.
And Brad Squatter's FaceTime.
That's right. Brad Squatter's FaceTime. Yeah, exactly. All right. So I'm happy to help you.
Yeah.
But follow the rules. Okay. Also, you can follow at Brad Show Live. If you video call at Brad Show Live, you're going to be talking to Pizza. I don't think she wants to speak with you either. But certainly leave messages. Follow us at Brad Show Live. You can see the best of Brad Show Live, snippets from our show, the best of our produced pieces, the best of our speed rounds and social media questions and everything else. So it's great to follow and watch little snippets of our show as well on at Brad Show Live as well. And Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
You can follow me at Travel Queen Kim.
And you can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV.
And finally, Yonathan and Belgium Kim, where are we at with our thumbs up and share it?
Last time I checked, YouTube is at 144 thumbs up, while Facebook is at 204 shares. Wow.
All right, so Facebook looks like they're going to win unless YouTube comes through.
YouTube's got some slack.
Yeah,
like you guys
YouTube,
need
by the way,
70.
YouTube has more people watching than Facebook,
Right.
so they should be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All
that's
right?
true.
Let's
That's
see
true.
let's see if they can even try to make a game of it.
It's also easier to like a thing than it is to share a thing.
Yeah,
So I really
exactly.
thought YouTube was going to
It's
run
so much
away with
easier.
this.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's so much less effort to like.
Exactly.
It's going up right now, but not up enough.
All right, well, let's see what happens. Maybe they'll surprise you, Yonathan.
Let's see.
Julian, let's do something we like to call social media check-in.
Our first one is from Marie, who said, I applied for Vawa, an I-765, and an AOS all together. I got all 3 receipts as well as an appointment for biometrics, and I told my lawyer about applying for advanced parole so that I can travel, and the lawyer said that it's best to wait until I get a green card or the Vawa is approved, because then CBP can check into social medias at ports of entry. What do you think?
Get the advanced parole and travel.
All right, Zara is saying, I came to the U.S. in 2013 on an F1 and my husband, Maying, on an F2. Now, he maintained legal status using TPS since 2013 since he is Syrian. I maintained the F1 in 2014. We applied for asylum, and the case got approved in June 2018. Now, during our wait on the asylum case, my husband's company filed for his green card. We submitted the I-485 in August 2018 based on employment. Now, we're wondering if we should also apply for the I-485 using the approved asylum case. Appreciate your advice.
You can go either way. Me personally, I would probably do the asylum adjustment over the employment adjustment because then it frees you up to go work and do what you want.
Our next question comes from Real New Moon, who said, can my U.S. citizen spouse file an I-130 for my kids who are outside of the U.S. while my adjustment of status marriage interview is still on review?
Yes, as long as the marriage happened before they were 18.
Marco saying, my wife and I got a mail from USCIS that our interview has been scheduled. We're expecting the mail to arrive with exact date. But we're also expecting a baby. Due date, I think we asked this.
We did, yeah.
We asked this. So
the answer is, if your wife's
it.
in the hospital, go with proof that she's in the hospital, they'll reschedule.
Yes.
Atif said, my friend is a naturalized citizen and he's gotten a deposition restriction from food and nutrition, and a disposition restriction from food and nutrition, and he filed for his wife's petition, the I-130. Is that going to affect his case?
The disposition of what?
It says he's gotten a disposition restriction from food and nutrition. I have no clue what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
I don't know what that means. It means he has an allergy to food? Will that affect him in his medical?
He's gotten disposition restriction from after he filed his wife's I-130 petition. Will that affect his case? I'm going to go out on a major limb.
And say he's getting food
stamps. He's getting food stamps. Is public charge going to affect him? That's exactly what I think so.
The answer is yes.
I cannot believe we did that.
Thank you very
I think
much.
that's exactly what it is.
I was thinking he can't eat peanuts. If he eats peanuts, he's going to die. Will that affect my adjustment? That's what I was thinking.
Yes, if you're dead, it will. Yes. All right, our next one comes from Josiah saying, I've received my combo card in June, but it has been stolen. And later in July, I've applied for a replacement card. How long will I receive the replacement card?
Magic 8 Ball. When will this man receive his replacement card? When will immigration manufacture it? Will the mailman deliver it properly? What do you think? The Magic 8 Ball says it's very doubtful he will ever receive his replacement card.
No.
I don't believe the Magic 8 Ball. Sometimes the Magic 8 Ball is wrong.
Yeah.
Generally, it takes several months, though. But I don't know when he's going to receive it.
DZ's got a tricky one. He said, Brad, in the past you told me that I can't file directly with the consular officer, but I believe that I found a law that says I could if I've got an emergency situation. It says that in emergency situations, only consular officers may issue a visa based on cable notifications of such approval or official notifications of the I-797. What can you tell me about this? Is this true?
What the hell is he talking about? Why file for what? Oh, he wants to file a visa petition?
Yes.
For what's the emergency?
Oh, that we don't know. We don't know what the emergency is.
Okay,
what would be qualifying emergencies?
Like you need somebody needs your kidney in America in like a week and they're gonna die. But something short of that, you gotta follow the right procedures.
Gotcha.
All right. And our next one comes from Augustine saying, I'm leaving the USA with AP based on Vawa. Should I worry about, because the Vawa has stopped? I'm concerned of my return to USA.
It's a valid advanced parole. Use it.
All right.
Frankie says, my I-130 and my I-45 were denied in April of 2019, and I filed the I-130 appeal by the end of April. They are preparing all documents to forward to BIA and to forward my case to BIA. But last week I received another email from the senator about a new inquiry they sent to USCIS. And USCIS said they're reopening the I-130. What does this mean, and what should I expect from USCIS?
Reopening the I-130 means they're going to review your case again from USCIS. You don't have to bother with an appeal.
Ha ha ha.
All right. Almighty Dean saying my income is $85,000 a year. Can I sponsor my niece even when the new law is in action?
You can give an affidavit of support when it's in action, but you can't sponsor a niece. But you can give an affidavit of support for somebody else who's sponsoring a niece, or she can do if she lives with you, you can adopt her, or perhaps she can do a special juvenile immigrant.
DZ, I don't know if this is helpful or not, Brad. DZ said it wasn't a visa petition, it was an approved petition.
approved. Okay. But you're either on a waiting list
Mm-hmm.
or you got a process.
So even in an emergency, you couldn't be able to go faster.
You can't jump the waiting list.
Got it.
Okay, I thought this was an immediate relative.
There we go. Almighty said, did you ask this already? I don't think so. Almighty said, my income.
I did.
Okay, sorry about that. Kofi said, please, I listened to you and I've got a question. Can you help? My friend is here and her U.S. citizen spouse attended his green card interview, and the officer asked his wife if he was married before. And the wife said yes. And the officer asked again, where was the divorced wife now? And she said she's in New Jersey, and the officer did not say anything. He wants to know if he should be worried, but he presented the divorce certificate to the officer.
Wait, what happened?
So what it sounds like.
I feel like we asked this.
Say it again.
So friend and her U.S. citizen spouse were at the green card interview. At the green card interview, the officer asked the wife, has your husband been married before? And she was like, yes. And he was like, okay, well, where is his ex-wife now? And she said she's in New Jersey. And apparently the officer went silent. They're wondering if they should be worried. Now, he brought the divorce certificate.
What? Nothing happened.
Okay.
Maybe it's so funny, people's perceptions.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the officer went silent because he was thinking about what he's going to eat for dinner tonight.
Right.
Okay. Maybe he went silent because he's like, oh, I forgot to check this box off. Who knows? There's a million reasons why he stayed silent, and maybe it had nothing to do with your answer, but you answered it right.
Right. The difference is now that he said that they gave the divorce certificate. So that's, yeah. Okay. Fearless Michelle saying, my U.S. citizen husband wants to file for my 15-year-old son in Jamaica. He's filed the I-130, but it's not yet approved. Can you submit the I-6864 and a copy of the I-797 receipt?
No. Gotta get the I-130 approved.
Okay.
Busha Sports said, my wife will be having her oath ceremony on October 11th, and she's going to submit my new paperwork the same day. Will we make it before the new October 15th public charge rule?
What day is the swearing in?
October 11th.
If you overnight it, yeah.
Ooh, that's a well-planned swearing in.
All right, Zara is saying, I came to the U.S. in 2013 on the F1 and my husband on an F2. My husband then maintained a legal status.
Yeah, we asked this already. And by the way, when you overnight it, you got to overnight it from the Postal Service. You can't overnight it from FedEx.
That's good to know.
Yes. Nice. Sharon saying, on an affidavit of support, are you judged by your current annual salary, or will they also look on your last 3 years of your annual salary of affidavit on the affidavit of support?
You're judged on both.
Okay.
And our final question for right now comes from Ben, who said, my cousin's I-130 just got approved and was sent to NBC, but he's in the U.S. and wants to adjust his status here in the U.S. How could he go about doing that?
File an I-485.
There we go.
That's simple. Meanwhile, the 50th African American Day Parade was recently held in Harlem. The parade has become one of the largest celebrations of Black American culture. This year's theme was quite timely: integrity and transparency equals good government. Belgium Kim was there speaking to politicians, grand marshals, and attendees. Let's check it out.
Hey Brad Squad, it's Belgium Kim, and today I'm at the 50th anniversary of the African American Day Parade. First held in 1969, this parade is the largest and oldest celebration of Black American culture in the nation. With this year's theme of integrity and transparency equals good government, the individuals honored today will be individuals that have contributed to the African American community through politics and government. Over 200 organizations, 25 floats, and 3 HBCU marching bands are going to be making their way down this 25-block span of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard right here in Harlem. Check it out. Hey everybody, I'm here with Jumani Williams, public advocate. Thank you so much for joining us, Jumani. Tell us a little bit about why you're here today.
Well, thanks for having me. It's critically important that everybody be able to celebrate their culture. But even more important, obviously, this is the 50th anniversary of the African American Day Parade. The Orange Man in the White House trying to spread orange madness. It makes it even more important New York Times just put out 1619, the expose of what this country is, how it was founded. And you really see that this country wouldn't be this country without the contributions of African Americans.
Can you talk a little bit about the overlap between African American issues and immigrants issues in this country?
So really what it is, you can't hate in small, neat boxes. So usually if you hate one group, you hate another. And so we're at a time where everybody's being classified as the other.
What are some things that everyday Americans can do to fight back against those ideals?
One, as corny as it sounds, but it's true, register to vote. Don't just vote for presidential elections. Vote in your local elections. Please fill out the census next year. It is remarkably important, and people don't understand how important it is. So we need everybody to fill out the census and learn the lessons. We've been here before, and we got lulled to sleep. We got to make sure we don't fall back to sleep.
Can you tell us what your immigration story is?
Both my parents immigrated from the small island of Grenada, home of Malcolm X's mom and Maurice Bishop, Democratic Socialist. Fortunately was assassinated, but a lot of revolutionaries came out of there. And I try to continue the work I do in that spirit of lifting up the voices of people whose voices aren't being heard, or for some reason they feel it's not strong. But we know it is. Just got to keep pushing.
Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing here today and why these parades are so important for the community.
While my family is third generation from the village of Harlem, my family also hails from the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Caribbean Day Parade historically started here in the village of Harlem, so the interconnectedness between that which people from foreign shores have done and contributed to this community is absolutely outstanding, all of which is highlighted at this parade.
What do you feel as a judge makes good government?
Good government means having doors that are open, ears that are open, well enough that you can hear what it is that the people are saying, the integrity and the transparency of the decision making. And when you have those two voices that are together, that's good government.
Thank you so much. One last question. What is your American dream?
My American dream is that people can experience that which we have here today, which is the solidarity of people coming together to celebrate, unify one another, and leaving here with inspiration to know that whatever it is that they're dreaming about, there's someone out here tonight who is willing to help them live that dream and make it come true. That's my dream.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Terry and Michael. What are you guys doing at today's parade?
We're here to support the parade, to see how far we came and how far we're going.
Now, this is the 50th anniversary, as you mentioned. Why is it still important 50 years later to still have events like this in the community?
Because, you know, like Harlem, I'm from Harlem, so I have seen this community grow. And it's very important that as a culture that we keep something, right? And to see this 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and even 50 years, it's so important for the whole culture.
Hi, Michael. We'll see you at the 100th anniversary 50 years from now, right?
Hopefully.
I am the black man, intelligent, strong, and proud. From this day forward, I pledge my life to the continued development of myself, my family, my community, and to the total and unconditional liberation of my people. We will succeed. I said, woo, woo,
woo! Guys, that is well done. So I feel like that kind of explained it, but tell me what exactly you guys are doing here today. What does this parade mean to the family?
It means a lot because we're celebrating our heritage. We're Africans born in America, and my children know that they're Africans first, born in America, and we're the original people. We are the original people, and it's important for them to know their heritage.
That's amazing. Now this is the 50th anniversary. Why is it still important 50 years later to still be celebrating things like that?
Look at the textbooks. The textbooks all throughout the nation and unfortunately across the globe, it denies us our heritage. They don't talk about or celebrate the contributions of African people. It's always Europeanized and European celebration. So this celebration is extremely important.
And one final question, I'll ask each of you guys this. What is your American dream?
To have justice, freedom. We want true freedom. That's what we want.
Freedom.
Ooh, I like it.
Peace.
Ooh.
Love, I guess.
Aww. And Walter, all the way down here, what's your American dream?
For peace on the earth.
Yes.
Because not just America, it's everything's connected. So we need world peace, and it starts with everybody sharing.
Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Brad Squad, I'm here with Kendall. Nice shirt, man.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So tell me a little bit about why you're here today.
I'm just here to enjoy the parade. It's my community. I love seeing us get together, enjoy ourselves. That's about it.
Absolutely. This is the 50th anniversary. Why is it still so important 50 years later to have events like this?
That this is our culture. This is our heritage. This is what we come out to celebrate. It's our community.
Absolutely. How much do you feel like Harlem has changed in the last decade?
I mean, Harlem is growing. It's definitely for the best, just like anything else in life, you know.
All right, Brad Squad, we had an absolutely amazing time celebrating the 50th anniversary of the African American Day Parade right here in Harlem. This was an absolute blast, and we talked to advocates, community members, and of course, we brought you inside the parade route to give you all the festivities happening right here in the city. Until next time, see ya.
All right, we're going to do 20 questions in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. 20 to 20. 20 to 20. That is what we are doing. And if our speed round goes anything like the graphic, we're in a lot of trouble. Because it keeps stopping.
That is weird. Thank God that's the last graphic of the day.
Correct. All right, you ready?
Ready. Gloria McKee said, I suppose you lost your green card. Can you file for your citizenship?
Yes.
Karen says, how much should an affidavit of support should be making for the year to support a family of 3?
20,000 and 3,500 for each additional person.
One block said, can I remarry while on a 10-year green card to someone else and file an N-400 before the 5-year mark?
No.
Andres says, I'm a U.S. citizen. How long will it take for my child to get his visa applying I-130 from South America?
At least a year to 18 months.
Lisette said, how long does the Vawa filing last, and have you ever experienced take less time?
It's always more and more under Donald Trump. It could take as long as 18 months, 2 years, 3 years sometimes.
Derek says, my mom has a U.S. passport and she wants to stay 6+ months. Is it possible?
If she has a U.S. passport, she can stay as much or as little as she wants.
Lady June said, will I get an RFE if I don't include the I-693 with the I-485?
No.
Max says, if I send my RFE after October 15th, is it going to affect me by the new rules?
It doesn't affect the new rules, no.
Lady June said, can someone apply for advanced parole if adjusting from being out of status and married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Mahade said, what is the religious visa about?
It's an R1 visa for a pastor who has, or some other religious person who has given his entire life to that particular religion.
Shayla said, what is the exact time waiting if my friend's husband filed for her? She's in Jamaica. He's a citizen. Does it go any faster if the lawyer does the paperwork?
It doesn't go any faster, but if you have a good lawyer, it won't slow it up.
Derek says, what does it mean 201B in a spouse of U.S. citizen, and how long does it take to process to get approved?
It means you're an immediate relative and she can file for you immediately.
Jeanette says, USCIS sent me a request for more evidence. They asked for my husband's tax returns. If he doesn't want to send it to them, what can I do next?
You got a big problem. You can be denied.
Sharika says, marriage to green card holder, you think it should be an I-130 before October 15th because wait on the husband, he filed for the citizenship and I waited on him.
File the I-130, but it's not going to make a difference for the October 15th deadline.
Bless said, I just did my interview on Tuesday and then found out I'm pregnant on the same day. If I get Medicare, is it going to be a problem?
No.
Gavel says, has a family member come on an immigrant visa? He wants to know if he can travel to the next state without his green card.
Yes.
Bona said, can my husband file for me while he's in a permanent resident and has filed to become a citizen?
Yes.
Max says, isn't it better to withdraw an asylum after a case of I-130 being approved?
Yes.
Damn it!
Yeah.
19.
2 more.
Only by the way.
We were
by the way, that fire singed my.
God, my
Did it pop in your
eyebrows are gone.
I'm gonna tell you something.
That's
I mean,
true.
there was like a whole flame that came right into my face.
If my hair looks real dry tomorrow, you know why.
It'd be funny, like if like the graphic I go
Just like fester,
electrocuted.
We should actually have like wigs down the bottom
That are
just to throw on for the rest of the show.
I keep picturing like an Addams Family scene, but I don't know why.
Yeah, we need a bigger blow up. You know,
We
to put
do.
That would be very funny. Though.
We need a real bomb. We need Brendan to just throw a stick of dynamite in here for real. Can we dance?
All right. First of all, you can't ask an open-ended question. Tell me more about an R1 visa.
Yeah, that was fair. That was fair. That was a toughie.
If it was an easier question, we would have done it.
Yeah, you're right.
Kind of threw me off. I'm like, I can tell you a lot
Tell
about
me
the
all
R1.
about,
Yeah, tell me all about it in 6 seconds. What else did we not get to?
One from Yassine, who said, will a disorderly conduct affect my N400? It happened in 2013 when my ex falsely accused me of domestic violence.
No, you should be okay because it's more than 5 years ago.
Mandeep wants to know, can I apply for Vawa after I had my interview done on the marriage base?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, and with the R1, you have to have your calling. Has to be your particular religion. You have to be trained in the theology and underpinnings of your religion, and you have to be working that in a full-time position. So in other words, you know, a religious worker, a lot of times people are very dedicated members of their church or synagogue, but they have another job. You're not a religious worker. You have to be doing this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All right. Our last graphic of the day now. Comments of the day.
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day comes from Peace and Asanobi saying, no boring time with Bradshaw Live. Loving it. I have never been this addicted to any show.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. I have to admit that I have that in common with her. I've never also been addicted to a show as much as Bradshaw Live as well.
It's a good addiction.
Yes.
It is.
Ken Kibbett said, hey Brad, can you be a judge? Actually, an immigration judge. You'll be the best option for the top U.S. immigration judge to help immigrants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you be a judge? That would be pretty awesome.
Would that really be a thing you would consider?
No.
Why?
Because immigration judge is not a real judge. It's an administrative law judge.
Oh.
And you know, I have a bit of an ego, and here I am running a nice large law firm and helping all these people. And now I'm going to go.
Can you be a judge and still have your law firm?
No.
You can't.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I'm picturing you like as a British or Australian judge, but I'm just picturing the wig and the gavel and big pulpit.
If they want to make like an immigration judge television show, I'll be happy.
There you go.
That's a definite thing.
Really good.
I'll be a TV judge.
There you go.
Oh, careful, Judge Judy.
Yeah.
He's coming.
All right.
He's coming.
All right, next one comes from Virtuous Land saying, when I'm depressed with things going on around me, I listen to Bradshaw Live, then I feel cool.
Yeah. All right. I like that.
Oh, we are helping depression.
Yes.
Now.
That's right.
I love it.
We are doctors. Sisha
Dr.
Mitchell.
Yo-Yo. Dr. Yo-Yo's in the house.
In his house. Sisha Mitchell said, we're here getting ready to go out and have the squad in the shower with me because I don't want to miss a beat.
Ooh.
See?
So
you may not want to have the squad in the
Sisha
shower.
lets the squad in the shower.
Yeah.
Why you don't let them in the shower?
I don't let the squad in the shower.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you, the squad stops in the bathroom. All right, bathroom is my domain.
Right,
That's
right.
it.
All right, everybody, our last comment of the day comes from Sophia R. Gray saying, Mr. Brad Bernstein, God bless you and your team for doing wonderful job. Words cannot express. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aw.
That's all we
That's
got.
it.
Well, then that's all I got. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.